My beloved child, come closer, for what I am about to share with you is not a message of the earth, but a whisper from the heavens. Sit gently, breathe slowly, and open your heart, for I feel a stirring in the spirit that must be delivered with care and with fire. Last night, as I knelt in the quiet of prayer, a vision came to me, so bright, so sudden, that even my trembling hands could hardly carry it. I saw a great scroll descending from the heavens, welling through the sky like a river of light. And written upon it in letters glowing like molten gold were these words: "Your money has finally arrived." The sound of those words thundered through the chambers of my spirit. Not earthly money, not coins or paper, but a sign, a symbol, a heavenly decree. It was as if God Himself was announcing that a long-delayed blessing, something you have waited for, cried for, fought for, has finally been released. But then, my child, the vision shifted. I saw a figure standing beside the scroll. Not an angel, not a prophet, but a man known across the world, the man of innovation, boldness, and impossible ventures. I saw the image of Elon Musk, not as a literal giver of earthly wealth, but as a sign from God, a symbol of unexpected channels and unusual doors opening in strange ways. And beneath his image, a number appeared, $89 million. The number pulsed like a heartbeat. The Spirit whispered, "Tell my children this is prophetic. This represents overflow, completion, abundance beyond what they have ever imagined." And then one more lie appeared, blowing like the final stroke of a sword. "Open this within 10 minutes before it's gone." My child, when I saw that line, I felt a holy urgency fill my bones. Not an earthly countdown, not a literal timer, but a message about divine timing. A warning that when heaven opens a window, one must step through quickly with faith, not fear. In that moment, I felt the presence of countless disciples. Yes, I felt you, standing before a door that is swinging open right now. A blessing that has circled your life for years is trying to land. A breakthrough that once seemed far away is now knocking on your spirit like thunder on a quiet night. And so I speak to you as a father, as a shepherd, as one who has walked long roads of waiting. Prepare your heart. Steady your spirit. Something is arriving. Something long delayed. Something heaven approved. And this message, this strange, powerful, prophetic message, has been placed in your hands not by accident, but by divine appointment. My beloved child, the scroll has descended. The words have been written. The season has shifted. Now listen closely, for the journey has only begun. My beloved child, as we walk deeper into this revelation, I want you to breathe slowly and let your spirit open like the petals of a flower receiving the morning sun. For when heaven whispers, it is not the loudest ear that hears it, but the heart that listens with expectation. When the message declared, "Your money has finally arrived," it was not a statement for the flesh, but a proclamation for the soul. It was heaven's way of announcing that a long-awaited blessing, one that seemed locked behind delays and unanswered prayers, has finally reached the gates of your destiny. Many of my children spend years wondering why certain promises take so long. They wrestle with doubt, they wrestle with fear, and they whisper late at night, "Lord, when will my turn come?" But hear me, my child, every blessing has an appointed hour, and no matter how dark the night may feel, the dawn knows exactly when it must rise. I remember a moment many years ago when a young disciple came to me trembling with worry. He said, "Father, I have prayed for breakthrough, but all I see is silence." I looked into his eyes and felt the weight of his disappointment. Yet in that very moment, The Spirit nudged me, and I told him, "Child, silence is not absence. Silence is preparation." Weeks later, breakthrough came to him like a rushing flood, and he wept because he realized that all along, heaven had been moving in the background, arranging everything perfectly. In your life too, my beloved, the silence you endured was never a denial. It was the sound of heaven working carefully on your behalf. When the message says, "Your money has finally arrived," the Spirit is not speaking of mere coins but of every divine provision that has been accumulating in your favor. For some, it is the restoration of joy. For others, it is healing. For many, it is the release of opportunities that were once chained by fear. And for you, my child, it may be the arrival of something you did not even know you needed. The arrival represents a heavenly transaction, an exchange between your years of sowing and God's appointed moment of harvest. Just as the rain does not fall until the clouds are full, blessings do not descend until the season is ripe. Let me tell you a story, my beloved. There was once a farmer who planted seeds for many seasons. Each year he watered the earth, tended the soil, and prayed for rain. Yet his fields remained dry, and his harvest was little. One day, exhausted, he told his neighbor, "I have given this land everything, yet it refuses to give back." The neighbor looked at him and said, "Perhaps the land is not resisting you. Perhaps the land is preparing for something bigger than what you expected." The farmer almost abandoned the field, but something in his heart compelled him to try one more time. And that year, the rains came in torrents. His crops grew so abundantly that even neighboring villages came to witness the miracle. And when they asked him how such a harvest appeared so suddenly, he smiled and said, "It wasn't sudden. It was building all along. My child, that is how heaven works. What looks sudden to the human eye hath been slowly rising in the unseen realm. Every tear you cried watered the soil. Every prayer you spoke planted a seed. Every moment you held on to hope, even when hope felt heavy, added weight to your blessing until heaven finally whispered, 'It is time.' And now listen carefully, for this revelation is not random. It was given at this moment in your life because you have reached a spiritual threshold. What once seemed withheld is now being released. What once was chained is now being set free. When heaven says something has arrived, it means the warfare surrounding that blessing has ended. It means the angels assigned to deliver what belongs to you have completed their mission. It means what was once in process is now at your door. So when you hear, "Your money has finally arrived," allow it to echo through your spirit like a trumpet announcing victory. Allow it to rearrange your expectations. Allow it to break the limitations that life tried to build around you. This arrival is not about earthly wealth alone. It is about divine fulfillment. It is about stepping into a season where what you lost returns multiplied, where what you dreamed begins to manifest, where what seemed impossible becomes your new normal. My beloved child, I want you to understand something deeper still. Heaven never releases a blessing at a random time. It arrives precisely when you are ready to carry it. For some blessings require strength, others require wisdom, and still others require humility. Perhaps the reason your blessing took long to arrive was because heaven was strengthening you so that the gift would not crush you. A gift given too early becomes a burden, but a gift given in due season becomes a crown. And now, as I look at you with the eyes of a father, I can sense that season has dawned. Your blessing is no longer hidden. Your breakthrough is no longer delayed. Your arrival has already begun. And this message, this prophetic unfolding, is heaven's way of preparing you to recognize the blessing when it knocks upon your heart. My beloved child, as we continue this sacred journey, I want you to take a moment and reflect on the unusual nature of this message. For heaven does not speak in ordinary symbols. When the Spirit chooses a vessel or an image to carry meaning, it is never by accident. The mention of Elon Musk in the vision was not about a man giving you earthly money, but about the prophetic symbolism behind his identity. Heaven often speaks through figures whose lives represent something bigger than themselves. And in this case, the Spirit used his image to show you that your blessing will come through unusual channels, unexpected pathways, and sources completely beyond your imagination. Elon Musk, in the earthly realm, is known for innovation, for breaking boundaries, for reaching into realms others fear to touch. He is a figure who dreams beyond the limits of the ordinary. And in the vision, his presence did not represent a person but a pattern. His image was a sign that the blessing coming to you will not follow the natural route you expect. It will appear through surprising connections, strange opportunities, and doors you never thought would open. Heaven is announcing that your breakthrough will not be small, predictable, or common. It will be extraordinary, unusual, and transformative. My beloved child, I have learned through years of walking with the Spirit that God often hides miracles in places that look unlikely. Many times, the vessel through which the blessing flows is not the one we prayed for, not the one we expected, and not the one we even recognized. The Israelites cried out for deliverance, and God sent them Moses, a man raised in the palace of their oppressors. They prayed for a king, and God sent David, a shepherd boy forgotten in the fields. They sought a Messiah who would arrive with crowns and armies, but God sent Jesus in a manger. Heaven delights in surprising the earth. So when the vision showed Elon Musk as part of the message, it was heaven's way of saying, prepare yourself, for the channel through which I bless you will shock you. It may come through a stranger. It may come through someone you once underestimated. It may come through something you never thought mattered. It may come through one small decision that shifts your entire life. It may come through a dream, a revelation, an opportunity, or a voice you almost ignored. But it will come. Let me tell you a story, my beloved child. Once there was a woman who prayed for years for financial restoration. She cried, fasted, and asked God to send help. Yet every door seemed closed. One afternoon, she was sitting in a coffee shop, weary from disappointment, when she overheard two strangers discussing a project that needed someone with her exact skills. At first, she felt embarrassed to speak. Fear whispered, "Stay silent. You will look foolish." But something in her spirit nudged her. She turned around, introduced herself, and within weeks she was working with them. That simple moment of courage opened the door to opportunities she never imagined. Years later, when she stood on a stage sharing her story, she said, "I prayed for help, and God sent it through voices I almost walked past." My child, this is how heaven works. The blessing comes through unexpected channels. The miracle flows through unusual paths. And the Spirit uses symbols like these to prepare your heart so that when the moment arrives, you will not dismiss it as coincidence. You will recognize it as divine orchestration. In the same way, the prophetic vision used Elon Musk to represent innovation in your life. Your blessing will not only restore you, it will elevate you. It will pull you into a realm you have never walked in before. Just as he pushes boundaries into space, electric technology, and realms beyond human expectation, the Spirit is saying that your next season will push you into territories you never thought belonged to you. Your thinking will expand. Your influence will grow. Your confidence will be renewed. Divine creativity will flow through you like a river breaking free from the rocks that once held it bound. Another layer of the symbolism is this. Elon Musk is known globally. His influence stretches across nations. And this is a sign that what God is releasing into your life will not be small, hidden, or insignificant. Your testimony will reach places you never expected. Your breakthrough will echo into the lives of others, inspiring them to believe again. You will become a vessel through which others will find courage to step into their own miracles. My beloved child, do you feel the weight of this message? Do you see how heaven is positioning you? This blessing is not ordinary. God is not just giving you something. He is transforming you into someone. Someone who thinks bigger, walks stronger, dreams wider. Someone who dares to believe that God's promises are as real as the ground beneath your feet. So let your heart open to the unusual. Let your spirit embrace the unexpected. The channel may surprise you, but the blessing will fulfill you. The path may look strange, but the promise will be undeniable. And as we continue, the revelation will only deepen. My beloved child, as we journey further into this prophetic vision, I want you to pause and feel the weight of the number that was written before you. The number was not random. It was not chosen for grammar or effect. Heaven does not speak through meaningless symbols. When the scroll revealed the number 89 million, it was speaking in the language of the Spirit, a language of numbers, meaning, and divine intention. In the vision, the number did not simply appear, it pulsed, it breathed, as though heaven itself was emphasizing its importance. And when the Spirit presses something before your eyes, it is because there is a message hidden within it. My beloved child, the number 89 million contains layers of prophetic meaning. To the natural mind, it may seem like an impossibly large amount of money. But to the spiritual mind, it represents far more than financial abundance. It represents completion, new beginnings, and the multiplication of grace. The number 8 in the scripture represents new beginnings. It is the number of resurrection, the number of fresh starts, the number of doors that open after long seasons of darkness. When God brings you into a season marked by the number 8, it means something old has died and something new is rising from its ashes. The Spirit is telling you that your new beginning has already been set in motion. Then there is the number 9. 9 in the Spirit represents divine completion. It is the number of harvest, the number of deep fulfillment, the number of promises finally coming to pass. It is the number that signals that what began in struggle will end in glory. The fact that 8 and 9 stand together in this message is a prophetic sign that your life is stepping into a divine sequence. What is beginning in this season will not be cut short. It will be completed. It will flourish. It will come full circle. But, my child, the vision did not end with the numbers 8 and 9. It revealed them wrapped in 7 zeros. And in the realm of the Spirit, zeros do not mean emptiness. They represent infinite expansion, unlimited potential, a blessing that multiplies itself. The zeros stretch the number not just in magnitude but in meaning. They declared that this blessing is not a single event, but a flow, a river, a continuous outpouring. Heaven is not giving you a sip, but offering you a well. Not a moment, but a season. Not a taste, but an inheritance. Let me tell you a story, my child. Years ago, there was a man who worked tirelessly, but saw little fruit. Deep in his heart, he carried a dream that seemed much larger than his life. One night, he had a dream in which he saw a jar filled with coins, each coin glowing with light. At first he was confused, but as he prayed, He understood that the jar was not about money. It was about capacity. Heaven was showing him how much he was capable of carrying, how much grace was assigned to him, how much favor heaven was ready to pour. In time, he stepped into opportunities that seemed wildly beyond his skill. But he was not overwhelmed, because heaven had already increased his capacity before the blessing arrived. My child, what you are stepping into is much the same. The zeros on that number show that heaven has increased your capacity to receive. The Spirit is telling you that what is being released is not a blessing for a moment, but a blessing for generations. A blessing that will touch not only your present, but your future. Something large enough to rewrite your story, heal your past, and build the foundation for your destiny. Heaven is stretching your vision because the blessing will be too great for small thinking. But there is more, my beloved child. The size of the number symbolizes restoration. Heaven is repaying you for the years you lost, the opportunities you missed, the times you were overlooked, the seasons when you were faithful but saw no reward. It is a prophetic repayment. When heaven restores, it never restores in small measures. It restores exceedingly abundantly, above what was lost. The number 89 million is not the measure of what you will receive, but the measure of how heaven sees your value, your journey, and your endurance. In the Spirit, the number stands as a banner above your life, declaring that lack will no longer follow you, fear will no longer bind you, and the cycles that once held you back have been broken. Heaven is releasing new identity, new confidence, new clarity, and new favor. And this number is a prophetic sign that what is coming is vast, overflowing, and undeniable. My beloved child, do not look at the number with earthly eyes. Look with spiritual sight. This blessing is not about dollars. It is about destiny. It is not about wealth. It is about witness. It is not about money. It is about meaning. The number has come to awaken you, to enlarge your faith, and to prepare you for the magnitude of what God is now releasing in your life. My beloved child, as the vision unfolded before me, the words that struck my spirit with the deepest force were not the numbers, nor the symbols, nor even the image of the unexpected messenger. It was a line that appeared like a beam of fire across the scroll. Open this within 10 minutes before it is gone. For though the language appeared earthly, the meaning behind it was entirely spiritual. Heaven was not giving a countdown measured in earthly minutes. Heaven was speaking of a moment of destiny, a window of opportunity, a rare hour in which obedience must rise faster than hesitation. My beloved child, there are moments in every believer's life when heaven opens a door, and the Spirit whispers, "Move now." On tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Now. Because blessings are often tied to moments, and moments do not wait for comfort. The 10-minute window symbolizes the urgency of obedience, the swift response of faith, the sensitivity needed to recognize when God is calling you forward. It was a warning wrapped in tenderness, a reminder that hesitation can delay what heaven has already released. Let me tell you a story, my child. There was once a man who prayed for years for a breakthrough. One evening, he felt a strange stirring in his heart to attend a gathering he had not planned to go to. Everything in his flesh resisted. He was tired. He was discouraged. He was unsure. But something in his spirit whispered urgently, "Go." Reluctantly, he obeyed. That very night, he met a person who later became the key to unlocking the greatest opportunity of his life. When he shared his testimony years later, he said something I never forgot. My miracle was waiting for me, but if I had waited even 1 hour, I would have missed it. Heaven sometimes speaks in urgency because destiny does not always knock twice. In the same way, the 10-minute warning in your vision symbolizes a divine moment requiring a swift opening of your heart. It is a call to awaken your spirit, to rise, to pay attention to what the Spirit is stirring inside you right now. Not later, not eventually, not when life feels smoother, but now. The blessing assigned to you does not belong to hesitation. It belongs to faith. My beloved child, this urgency is not meant to pressure you but to position you. Heaven is saying that the moment you awaken to this prophetic message is the moment your spiritual door begins to swing open. Every second you choose faith over fear, hope over doubt, action over delay, increases the flow of what heaven has prepared for you. The window is symbolic of readiness. It means that the blessing has come so close to your life that your response determines how quickly it enters. There are seasons where God waits for you, but there are also seasons where God invites you to match His movement. This is one of those seasons. When the scroll declared that it must be opened within 10 minutes, it meant that revelation must be welcomed quickly. Understanding must be embraced quickly. Transformation must be accepted quickly. The longer a heart waits, the harder it becomes for the Spirit to receive what heaven is pouring. This is why the Spirit emphasizes this moment to you, my beloved child. You are standing at a threshold where every small step you take becomes a doorway. Heaven is searching for those who do not merely hear the word, but respond to it. Those who sense the divine tug and move without delay. Those who understand that destiny requires participation, not passivity. And now, my child, hear something deeper. The 10-minute window also symbolizes the urgency of spreading revelation. When heaven releases a message, it is not meant to be hidden in one heart alone. It is meant to be carried, shared, multiplied, and delivered to others who need the awakening of their own spirit. Just as the prophet spoke to multitudes, and just as Jesus shared truths with crowds who hungered for hope, so too does this message carry the responsibility of being spread. In the vision, the urgency was not only about receiving your breakthrough, but about awakening others to theirs. There are souls connected to your obedience. There are hearts waiting for the same word that has now reached you. When you allow this message to move through you, you become a vessel through which heaven reaches many. My beloved child, if this message has stirred your spirit, if it has awakened something inside you, then let your heart understand that sharing it is not a casual act but a divine assignment. When you extend this revelation to others, you amplify heaven's voice in the earth. You become a bearer of spiritual light, a carrier of awakening, a partner in the spread of truth. Supporting the message, spreading it, giving it voice is part of the divine work heaven invites you into. So as we continue this journey, let your heart hold this gently. Those who help carry the message help carry the miracle. Those who lift the word help lift the blessing. Those who amplify the revelation become partakers of its power. Let this settle in your spirit as a holy responsibility, a divine duty, a spiritual act of obedience. My beloved child, now that we have understood the urgency of the moment, we must step into one of the deepest truths hidden within this prophetic message, the understanding that divine wealth is far greater than earthly money. When the scroll declared, "Your money has finally arrived," heaven was not pointing merely to currency or possessions. Heaven was pointing toward a deeper form of wealth, a wealth that shapes destiny, heals wounds, restores purpose, and breathes life into places that once seemed barren. Many look at wealth and imagine gold, houses, accounts, or status. But heaven sees wealth differently. Heaven measures wealth in transformation, in revelation, in alignment, in healing, in clarity, and in the restoration of all that was lost. My beloved child, I want to tell you something with the tenderness of a father. The greatest riches you will ever receive are not stored in banks but in the chambers of your soul. There are blessings that money can never buy, peace that quiets storms, joy that outlives sorrow, strength that carries you when all else falters, wisdom that protects you, purpose that lifts you, love that anchors you. These are treasures no earthly vault can contain, yet they are the very wealth heaven pours into those who walk closely with the Spirit. So when the message declared that your wealth had arrived, it was announcing a release of spiritual abundance. Abundance in your mind, where confusion once reigned. Abundance in your heart, where wounds once lived. Abundance in your path, where uncertainty once clouded your steps. Heaven was revealing that you are about to become rich in ways the world cannot measure, rich in ways that transform not just your finances but your entire being. My beloved child, let me share with you a story of a woman who once came to me broken, not because she lacked money but because she lacked peace. Her home was filled with conflict, her nights filled with anxiety, her mind racing with fear she could not quiet. She whispered to me, "Father, I would trade every coin I have for a moment of rest." For years she tried to buy comfort through distractions, travels, and possessions, yet nothing eased her spirit. One day, in prayer, the Spirit touched her heart with a gentle whisper that said, "Your wealth has arrived." She told me later that she did not understand it at first. But in the weeks that followed, she began to experience a peace that flowed through her like calm water. She released past burdens. She slept deeply for the first time in years. She laughed again. And she said, "Father, now I understand. His peace is the wealth I was missing." Child, that woman received something money could never buy. She received internal abundance, the kind of wealth Jesus promised when he said, "I give you peace, not as the world gives." Divine wealth begins inside a person long before it ever shows outside. When heaven enriches your inner life, it becomes impossible for your outer life to remain poor. When clarity fills your thoughts, opportunities find you. When peace fills your spirit, doors open naturally. When confidence takes root, new paths appear. When healing flows, relationships restore. When purpose awakens, your steps gain direction. This is why the Spirit begins the blessing within before revealing it without. But there is more, my beloved child. Divine wealth also includes ideas. Heaven often blesses with inspiration that lifts a person into new seasons. A single idea can change a life more than a bag of gold. A single revelation can shift your destiny more than 1,000 coins. Heaven may send you a creative spark, a new direction, a vision for something that has never existed before. That is divine wealth. And once heaven plants that seed, no earthly hand can uproot it. Divine wealth also includes supernatural favor. There are moments when doors open not because of who you know, but because of who heaven has chosen you to become. Favor makes people remember you. Favor makes opportunities seek you. Favor causes rooms to shift when you walk in. Heaven gives this kind of wealth to those who have endured seasons of emptiness, so that when abundance arrives, they recognize its source. My beloved child, divine wealth includes healing as well. Some of the greatest riches are found when the wounds of your past are finally touched by the hand of God. Healing is the restoration of strength, identity, and dignity. Healing returns pieces of you that life tried to steal. Healing is wealth because a whole person can do what a broken person never could. So when the prophetic scroll declared, "Your money has finally arrived," It was not announcing earthly riches alone. It was declaring that heaven is releasing an overflow of everything you lacked: peace, strength, wisdom, ideas, opportunities, healing, favor, clarity, and joy. This is the wealth of the Spirit, and it is far more precious than anything the world can offer. My beloved child, you are stepping into a season where you will no longer look at your life through the lens of emptiness. You will look through the eyes of abundance, because heaven is filling every empty place within you. This wealth will not only lift you, it will spill over into others. Those who walk near you will feel the change. Those who listen to you will hear the shift. Those who observe your life will say, something has awakened in them. My beloved child, before any blessing arrives, there is always a season of waiting, a time when the soul feels stretched, a time when the heart wonders whether God has forgotten the promises He once whispered. You have walked through such a season. You have endured nights when tears were your only companion. You have survived moments when silence felt louder than hope. You have pressed forward even when the ground beneath you shook. And you have questioned, perhaps more times than you would ever admit, why the breakthrough took so long. But, my child, heaven never wastes waiting. Waiting is not punishment. Waiting is preparation. Every delay you faced was shaping you, forming you, strengthening you, refining the hidden parts of your soul so you would be ready for the magnitude of what heaven intended to release. Many cry out for blessings, but few understand that unprepared hands cannot hold divine treasure. Heaven withholds not to hurt you, but to make sure the blessing, when it arrives, does not slip from your fingers. My beloved child, let me tell you a story of a young man who once came to me with a trembling voice. He said, "Father, I feel like everyone around me is moving forward except me. Doors open for them and not for me. Opportunities find them, not me. It feels as though life is punishing me." I placed my hand on his shoulder and asked him one question. What if the delay is not depriving you but developing you? He looked confused at first. But as the years unfolded, he realized that the very season he despised was the season that built the strength he needed to carry the success that eventually arrived. Child, you too have been developed by your waiting. You may not have seen the shaping, but the Spirit saw it. There were nights when you cried, and heaven said, "Let it shake you." There were moments you wrestled with disappointment, and heaven said, "Let it strengthen you." There were days when fear tried to take root, and heaven whispered, "Let them learn faith." Because heaven's blessings require a foundation, and foundations are always built beneath the surface, in hidden places, in private battles, in quiet perseverance. Oh, my beloved child, you should know this truth deeply. The season before the breakthrough is always the hardest. It is the season where your faith feels stretched thin. It is the season where your prayers feel unanswered. It is the season where you question everything, including yourself. But that season is a sign that breakthrough is near, for the darkest hour always comes before the dawn. Look back for a moment at the path you have walked. Look at the storms you survived. Look at the betrayals that did not break you. Look at the disappointments that did not destroy you. Look at the weight you carried, and yet are still here, still breathing, still pressing forward, still reaching for something higher. This is proof that heaven has been with you even when you felt alone. Your perseverance was not weakness but evidence of divine strength woven into your spirit. My beloved child, there is something else about waiting that the Spirit wants you to understand. Waiting reveals what you truly desire. It strips away illusions, distractions, and false motivations, and tests the purity of your heart. In waiting, heaven watches how you walk, how you trust, how you respond when the answer is not immediate. Waiting exposes what is fragile and strengthens what is eternal. And now, as the prophetic message declares that your blessing has finally arrived, you must see the beauty of your journey. You were not kept from the blessing. You were being prepared to hold it. The weight you carried before was training for the weight of glory you are about to receive. Every trial added spiritual muscle. Every disappointment deepened your humility. Every delay refined your discernment. And every tear watered the ground where your harvest is now appearing. Think of the butterfly, my child. It must struggle inside the cocoon, pushing against walls that seem suffocating. To an observer, the struggle looks cruel and unnecessary. But if you cut the cocoon and free the butterfly early, it will never fly, because the struggle is what strengthens its wings. In the same way, your struggles were strengthening your wings. Without them, you would not be able to rise into the season now opening before you. And hear this gently, my beloved. The version of you who began this journey could not have carried the blessing that is now arriving. But the version of you who stands here today can. Heaven waited for the moment when you were strong enough, wise enough, humbled enough, and ready enough. Your waiting was sacred. Your waiting was necessary. Your waiting was divine preparation. So now, as we stand on the edge of the next revelation, let your heart release the bitterness of delay. Let your soul breathe freely, knowing that nothing you walked through was wasted. You were not waiting in vain. You were being shaped for abundance. The old season has completed its purpose, and a new one now stretches its arms toward you. My beloved child, now that you understand the purpose of your waiting, let us turn our eyes toward the horizon of your new beginning. For heaven has not only declared that your blessing has arrived, it has begun to reveal what your life will look like when this breakthrough unfolds. The Spirit showed me that once this divine release touches your life, nothing about you will remain the same. You will not walk like you walked before. You will not speak like you spoke before. You will not dream the way you once dreamed. When heaven breathes upon a person, transformation becomes inevitable. My beloved child, I see a vision of you standing in a place of clarity. Gone is the confusion that clouded your judgment. Gone is the fear that whispered lies in the back of your mind. Gone is the uncertainty that made you hesitate to step into new opportunities. Your inner world is becoming bright. The fog that surrounded your decisions is lifting. You are beginning to see the path with eyes sharpened by understanding and illuminated by the Spirit's guidance. This clarity is part of your breakthrough. When heaven releases abundance, it first releases sight. I also see a shift in your relationships. The blessing that is coming to you will draw the right people into your life and remove the wrong ones. There are individuals you once clung to out of fear, loneliness, or history, but heaven is gently separating you from connections that cannot journey with you into this new season. In their place, the Spirit is preparing to bring people who will honor your growth, support your calling, and protect your purpose. You will not walk alone. You will walk aligned. Those who enter your life in this new chapter will be divinely assigned, not casually encountered. My beloved child, I see your voice changing. The same person who once doubted their worth will speak with confidence. The one who once hid their dreams will begin to declare them boldly. Heaven does not bless a person only on the outside. Heaven transforms the sound of their spirit. When this breakthrough settles upon you, your voice will carry weight. Your words will rise with power. Even the way you speak to yourself will change. No longer will you rehearse your failures. No longer will you diminish your value. You will speak from a place of strength because heaven has strengthened you. I also see doors, my child, wide bright, open doors. These are opportunities that once seem unreachable. In your past season, you may have tried to open doors by force, only to find them locked. But now, in this new season, doors will open without struggle. You will walk into rooms you once only admired from afar. You will sit at tables where your voice will be welcomed. You will find yourself chosen for things you never applied for. This is the favor of the Lord going before you, preparing places where your feet will stand with authority. And my beloved child, I must tell you what I see in your countenance. You will shine. The heaviness that once clung to your shoulders will fall away. The weariness that lived in your eyes will disappear. Joy will return to you, as if it had been waiting behind a veil all along. You will laugh without forcing it, smile without pretending, and rise each morning with renewed strength. The blessing coming to you is not only financial or situational, it is emotional, spiritual, and deeply personal. Heaven is restoring your joy. I see something even greater still. Your purpose, once blurry and uncertain, will become clear as crystal. You will no longer wander hoping to discover why you were placed on this earth. You will know. You will feel the fire of calling burning in your spirit. You will wake with vision and direction. The blessing will not distract you. It will guide you. It will give birth to ideas, missions, assignments, and dreams that have been dormant within you for years. The breakthrough is not just lifting you. It is awakening you. My beloved child, perhaps the most beautiful part of what comes after the blessing is how you will begin to overflow into the lives of others. Those who see you will see hope. Those who hear your story will feel possibility awakening within them. Those who walk near you will sense the shift, and some will be drawn to the light shining from your life. You will not simply live in abundance. You will become a vessel of abundance. You will carry encouragement like water, pouring it into those who thirst for hope. You will carry wisdom like bread, feeding those who hunger for direction. The blessing is not only elevating you, it is positioning you to elevate others. Because, my beloved child, true abundance never stops with the one who receives it. It ripples outward, touching lives, healing hearts, inspiring faith, and awakening destinies. Your breakthrough is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your impact. This is the life that waits for you on the other side of this divine release. A life transformed, a life aligned, a life awakened, a life overflowing. My beloved child, a blessing is not sustained by the moment it arrives. It is sustained by the posture of the heart that receives it. Many people experience breakthroughs, yet they lose them because they do not know how to walk in the new season. They return to old patterns, old fears, old voices, old environments, and soon the blessing feels distant again. But heaven is preparing you for something different. This blessing is not meant to visit you temporarily. It is meant to remain, to grow, to mature, and to shape your destiny for years to come. And for that, you must learn the steps of walking in divine abundance. My beloved child, the first step is faith. Not the loud faith that shouts in crowds, but the quiet faith that lives in the hidden chambers of the heart. The kind of faith that speaks truth to yourself when doubt tries to whisper lies. The kind of faith that says, I will not fear this blessing, I will grow into it. You must believe that you are worthy of what heaven is giving you. You must believe that God is not teasing you, not testing you, not tricking you. He is blessing you because He has prepared you. Walk with the confidence of someone who knows heaven has approved their steps. The second step, my child, is alignment. Your spirit and your decisions must match the new season you are entering. You cannot live like you did in the wilderness now that you are standing at the edge of promised land. Wilderness thinking will sabotage promised blessings. So let your habits rise. Let your discipline sharpen. Let your standards elevate. Let your voice carry more authority. Let your decisions reflect someone who expects goodness, not someone who fears loss. When your behavior aligns with your blessing, the blessing becomes your new normal. The third step is gratitude. Not casual gratitude, but deep, continuous, overflowing gratitude. Gratitude is the soil in which blessing grows. When you thank God for what He has given, He multiplies it. When you thank Him for what you have not yet seen, He accelerates it. Gratitude expands your capacity to receive. Each day, speak thankfulness. Whisper it in the morning. Carry it in your heart as you walk. Let it become your breath. A grateful person becomes a magnet for divine favor. My beloved child, the fourth step is stewardship. Heaven watches how you handle what you have before releasing more. Stewardship does not mean perfection. It means awareness, responsibility, and intention. Steward your time, for wasted hours weaken destiny. Steward your relationships, for not everyone honors what God is building in you. Steward your opportunities, for each one is a seed that can grow into something greater. Steward your peace, for without peace, blessings cannot flourish. Steward your mind, for your thoughts are the garden where your future grows. When heaven sees stewardship, heaven releases increase. The fifth step, my child, is vulnerability to the Spirit. A blessed life is not a life lived by logic alone, but a life guided by divine whispers. The Holy Spirit will nudge you, warn you, redirect you, and lead you into paths you could never find on your own. You must be soft enough to hear Him and courageous enough to obey Him. Sometimes He will ask you to stay. Sometimes He will tell you to move. Sometimes He will whisper a truth that challenges your comfort. But His voice is your compass. It will keep you from getting lost in the abundance. Another step, my beloved, is community. Blessings grow stronger when shared with the right people. You cannot carry this blessing alone. You need those who will celebrate you, support you, and protect what God is building in your life. You need voices that lift you higher. You need people who remind you of your purpose when storms arise. Surround yourself with those who speak life, not doubt. Choose companions who push you toward destiny, not those who pull you back into old patterns. And finally, child, the most important step of all is humility. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking rightly of yourself. It is knowing that the blessing comes by grace, not by effort alone. Humility keeps you grounded. It keeps you teachable. It keeps you aware that the source of your strength is not your own power, but the one who breathed life into your spirit. Blessings grow in humility, but they wither in pride. Walk gently, speak gently, live gently, and heaven will continue to entrust you with more. My beloved child, if you walk in these steps, faith, alignment, gratitude, stewardship, sensitivity to the Spirit, wise community, and humility, your blessing will not fade. It will expand. It will mature. It will multiply. And others will look at your life and say, surely the hand of God is with them. You are not stepping into a moment. You are stepping into a lifestyle, a way of being, a rhythm of grace, the walk of divine abundance. My beloved child, as we reach the end of this divine unfolding, I want you to feel the holiness of this moment. You have traveled from the first whisper of the vision to the depths of understanding, from the urgency of the call to the revelation of what awaits you. Now heaven desires to seal this message inside you, not as a mere story, not as an idea, but as a living word that will continue breathing inside your spirit long after this moment ends. You have seen how heaven prepared you, how heaven shaped you, how heaven watched you through every valley and lifted you in every hidden moment. You have learned that the blessing was not late, it was maturing. You have learned that your waiting was not wasted, it was strengthening. You have learned that the message was not about money alone, but about abundance flowing into every corner of your life. You have learned that the channels through which God blesses you may surprise you, but the blessing itself will be unmistakably divine. My beloved child, now I speak this final truth over you. The blessing that has arrived is not fragile. It will not slip away if you breathe too softly. It will not disappear if you doubt for a moment. It will not crumble if storms arise. This blessing comes with the seal of heaven, and what heaven seals, no earthly power can break. Your life has crossed an invisible threshold. You are no longer standing where you stood before. Your posture has changed. Your season has changed. Even your spiritual name has changed, for heaven now calls you by the identity that matches your new beginning. I see your future stretching before you like a path lit by gentle fire. I see you walking with confidence, not because you know every detail, but because you finally trust the one who guides you. I see joy returning to you like a long-lost friend. I see peace wrapping around your mind like a warm cloak. I see ideas stirring inside you, ideas that will open new chapters and build new doors. I see influence rising around you, not the influence that demands attention, but the influence that flows naturally from a life touched by heaven. My beloved child, I want you to picture yourself in a higher place now, a place where you no longer carry the weight of yesterday, a place where your spirit walks freely, a place where heaven's whisper is clear and near. This is where you now stand. And from this place, hear me clearly. Nothing that was sent to break you will follow you into this new season. The chains have fallen. The doors have opened. The old story has ended. A new story is written upon your life, and heaven holds the pen. And now, with the tenderness of a father, I ask you to do something sacred. When a message like this reaches you, when it awakens your heart, when it stirs your spirit, when it breathes life into forgotten places, it becomes a divine responsibility to carry it forward. Not because of obligation, but because light is not meant to be hidden. Hope is not meant to be kept in one pair of hands. Revelation is not meant to rest quietly in a single heart. It must travel. It must spread. It must reach those who are still in the very places you were rescued from. So, my beloved child, let this message flow beyond you. Let it rise from your life the way a flame rises in the dark. Heaven notices when you carry its word. Heaven honors those who spread what is holy. Sharing this message, lifting it, carrying it, is part of the divine work you have now stepped into. Let the world feel what you have felt. Let the weary hear what you have heard. Let the discouraged regain their breath through your obedience. In doing so, you become a vessel through which heaven continues its work. And now, my beloved child, I stretch my hand toward you in the Spirit and speak this final blessing. May abundance fill your days. May peace guard your nights. May wisdom guide your decisions. May favor go before you. May strength rise within you. May joy return to you. May every step you take echo with divine purpose. May the blessing that has arrived in your life never diminish, but grow, multiply, and overflow into generations yet to come. This is the end of the message, but the beginning of your new season. Amen.